we're gonna see if Steven and my boy Miguel, man, we're gonna see if they got some common sense tonight, man. Because I ain't got time for it, man. It's 10:27. It's 10:27 Eastern time. You know, I don't do this for everybody, man. I've been laid back. You know what I'm saying?
Man.
So yeah, you got me out the bag, man, for sure.
Hey, listen. I appreciate that. And with that, man, I want to welcome everybody to this episode of the Wright Quality Podcast. We are in this series. Before we even get into the series, though, Emilio, talk to the people. Let them know how you feeling today, bro.
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling calm. You know, the heat got driven down, so it's not like 100 anymore. So I got time to think. But it is like about to be a super blue moon, so I don't know what that means as well. So we'll be checking on me.
Hey man, you know black people don't know science, man. Let's talk about super blue moon, man. We ain't got time for that.
Hey man, I guess it's hidden somehow. I don't understand it, but I know it's like water.
Give me that AI version terms. Dumb that down. Is the moon blue or what? And what day does it come out?
They're white, but it looks bigger today. If you go out there and look at that, I'm telling you.
Yeah. Okay. I like that.
I'm crying, man. And we have another special guest. As I've been saying, man, we are doing these top 5 lists for y'all leading up until the NBA season, and got another special guest. I don't even like calling the little homie like he's younger than me, but it's too much.
Nah, you big man. You big homie, man. I ain't one of them ignorant little dudes. Man. You definitely big homie, bro. You know what I'm saying? Hey, man, you already graduated, man. You earned your stripes.
man, go ahead and introduce yourself. Let the people know who you are and what you do, man.
Nah, for sure, man. Christian, man. You know, I come from Kansas City. I was able to meet Steven, like I said, at Mizzou. And like I said, when I was a freshman, whatever, he was talking about like his vision with a lot of different things. So it's just been super dope. Just like I said, seeing his growth, seeing how consistent he is, and just seeing, man, like just seeing his brothers, man, just doing something, you know, just step by step. So just recently graduated from Mizzou in May with a journalism degree. So that was really cool. Me and Steve was kind of joking. I wish we was recording before. We was joking about that, you know, that 50-year contract of adulthood. You know, once you graduate college, you got 50 years of adulthood. You know, it's not sweet.
Don't remind me.
Yeah, my dad like, you know, I'm getting Geico papers in the mail now. I'm like, God dang it. Call the insurance company. Nah, I ain't called them dudes yet. But so I'm up living right now in Bristol, Connecticut. So I work as a production assistant for ESPN. So I interned here January through May. So it was a really good experience. And then they hired me back to come back. And so been back here since August. So super excited, man. Super excited on this podcast. I always catch clips. I don't always comment. So I need to get better on that because I get upset with that. You know, I watch the content, but I need to do a better job of reposting and commenting. So call me out, Steven. Call me out. And Miguel.
Hey man, look, you watch.
Don't worry.
Yeah, for sure. So now y'all know. Now y'all know I'm a stalker. And I watch.
If you're commentating, I'd be getting cooked. I bet. So it was probably for the better.
Yeah. Hey, look, I'm a fan. I'm a fan for sure. You know, I ain't got no pride in it. Yeah.
For sure. Well, we gonna hop right into it, man. This week we are doing the top 5 shooting guards. Now, this should relatively be an easy list.
Easy. Well, the first 3 should be easy, man. The first one should be easy. We have controversial number 1. I might as well just log out and go to sleep and get ready for work.
For real. No,
you know?
honestly.
Oh yeah. Okay.
I feel like Miguel might pull something. I don't know.
I'm not gonna say Eric Gordon. I'm not gonna say, you know, like Rondé Hollis Jefferson. You know what? The cat's out of the bag. We're gonna say
he gonna say Contagious Caldwell Pope.
Oh man, hey, ankle monitor KCP was one of the toughest. We're talking JR, you know, honorable mention for the list, probably my 6, but
JR Game 7, JR
Game 7.
Game one against Golden State.
Last 5 seconds, JR. Last 5 seconds, JR.
Of the shot clock.
Hey, JR, in a minute and a half, man, he has some of the best shooting guard performances ever. Give him a minute and a half.
Oh man,
pick up basketball, JR.
It's about to be halftime, JR. You know what that means.
Hey, you finna get subbed out. Go crazy.
Absolutely.
Literally. Okay, so number 1.
Damn, I wish it was one of those lists.
We know that number 1 is Mike. Is
one dude from Space Jam.
Yeah, no debate. I mean, come on now. I mean, it's only 2 dudes. It's 2 dudes people argue about on a daily basis, and that's Michael Jordan and LeBron James. And it should be number 1 of their positions.
Today is the man with the yellow eyes.
Yeah.
So it's the only time. It's the only time I love him. It's MJ. Come on now.
Right. For sure.
So where do we go with it? Where do we go with it?
We don't even need to go through the resume. I mean, it's probably the most well-known.
It's Michael Jordan, bro.
It's Michael Jordan. It's the most well-known resume in basketball, in my opinion.
Maybe in bald normal. For real.
Hey, y'all might got on Jordans right now. You don't need no resume. Go to your closet.
Honestly,
True.
got a decent amount. Need some
Right.
more. Need
Right,
some more.
man. Hey, but hey, what we say about that Doe Hood contract? It's like shit. What the old head say? Shit.
Listen.
They look good, but you like, man, it's the first of the month coming up. It's August 30th. Everything getting tight
Listen.
right now.
Listen, I don't even want to disclose the amount of time since the last time I got a pair of J's. Like, it hurts too much to even disclose. So.
Hey, that means you frugal. That means you smart.
Absolutely.
We'll call it that. We'll call it that.
Shouts out to Akers on the last pod. He got my grapes. Once I got my ones, I was like, you know what? It's time.
Yeah,
He's probably rocking them way better than what I was.
right.
Man, okay, so we know who one is. Are we all in agreement on who two is?
I'll concede today.
I'll go Kobe for sure.
Miguel, what was going to be the argument?
Don't you worry about it. But wait, so we got Rondé Hollis,
Well,
Jefferson. We got Kobe at 2.
I want to share how my perspective on Kobe has changed. Because because I feel like I'm the biggest LeBron James fan in the world. Like, if it came down to my life or LeBron James's life, I'm giving up my life. Straight up. Like, I just love LeBron that much. If I can get LeBron one more championship or die, I'm done to get him one more championship.
That might be me with Chris Paul.
That's just how much I love LeBron James. You know what I'm saying? But in all seriousness though, like, you know, when you're a LeBron fan, the media does a great job of pairing, you know, like LeBron James fans against the Kobe fans. You never really get to appreciate the greatness. But, you know, Kobe was one of the few, I guess I make 2 points. I think 1 point I really respected Kobe was he was one of the few kind of old heads, like that middle gap, where he was respecting the younger generation. He mentored a LeBron, a Melo, a Kyrie, and those dudes. Like, he always showed love. You know, you saw him sitting courtside when LeBron was a Laker. You know, he never was one of those guys that was like, you know, when Dr. Julius Erving came out with his top 10 list and didn't have LeBron James or Steph Curry, know anybody past 2010. You know what I'm saying? Like, on some, like, come on. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, Kobe was a guy that really was like that middle gap, man, like a leader. You know what I'm saying? Like what J. Cole said, middle child. You know, like you know what I'm saying? Like when Steven got behind his on his wall, like middle child. Like, he was a middle child. Like, he was big bro, little bro all at once. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And so for me, I gained a lot of respect for that. But then just seeing, you know, hearing the players and their podcasts, like them talking about how Kobe was, and then seeing the USA documentary. I remember watching that. I was like, man, I feel like I'm off on Kobe because I was kind of like critical. I was looking more analytically at him, like his shooting percentage and this and that. But just seeing, like, you know, hearing that story where, you know, they was out partying and they came back and he was up at 4:00 in the morning already in the gym, and then LeBron followed him, and then Dwayne Wade followed him. But it's like, bro, we're talking about LeBron James, who's arguably, in my opinion, the greatest basketball player ever. Or you can safely say top 3. Like, if you don't say LeBron's top 3 basketball player of all time, you don't know sports, right? So it's like, but you're saying that this guy's following this guy. Like, this was his big bro. Like, this was his, you know what I'm saying? This was his big homie. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah. So the respect that they had of him, you know what I'm saying, and player after player after player telling stories, I'm like, dude, like, you can't just look necessarily from analytical. We got to look at how he impacted the game as far as, like, his leadership, his style, his mentality, the culture he shifted, his everything. You know what I'm saying? His mentality was like, because I had him low key. Like, I used to have him like 10, 12. I'm like, if somebody say Kobe top 5, I'm not gonna get angry at that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, like, do I have my top 5? Probably not. Maybe, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. I haven't made one in a long time, but you know, not to go long, but it's just like hearing those stories of the players and how people talk about him, like how the players who played against him in the greats of his generation, how they revere Kobe, it changed how I looked at him. You know what I'm saying? So for that reason, he's safely number 2. He was already number 2 for my opinion, but I feel like that catapults him to a whole other level, in my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like when we're talking shooting guards, when we're talking players, but specifically talking shooting guards, right? I think everybody can agree that Kobe he'll tell you that essentially he's a carbon copy of Mike. Like, we see it, the eye test shows us that, but he'll tell you everything that I got from Mike.
You can take 2 minutes. You can take 2 minutes of YouTube to figure that out.
Literally, you know what I'm saying?
And 15 seconds of Twitter,
right? X.
And so interestingly,
never.
Interestingly enough, though, it's interesting that you said that you didn't have him top 10, because I know other people that didn't always have him top 10, and I know people that have him like at 3, 4, and I don't think there's. I think both arguments are strong. Like, if somebody argued why he's not in their top 10, I could understand it. If somebody argued why he was 4, or 5 for them, I would understand it. I think that Kobe falls into this place of, I think it's the balance that you talked about. It's that
Right.
if you go by statistics, right? Like even though Kobe has hardware on lock, right? If you go
Absolutely.
by statistics, you can see knocks where, okay, Kobe wasn't the most efficient, or there are flaws, you could say, where you could point at and be like, Kobe isn't maybe on this level of certain players, especially if we're having a top 10 conversation. And I think that a lot of people, I think that Kobe's status rose even more, unfortunately, after his passing. And I think that's just by nature of more people being exposed to how big he actually was. Because we all saw the turn he took when he retired, in terms of not only still being around the game, but what he was just giving to basketball outside of playing, whether it was coaching his daughter, whether it was something like detail, whatever the case was, he was just giving so much back to the game. And I think that's where people started to see that, no, like, this is different. Because I feel like we start to see his mentality, like he was dumbing down his mentality and essentially saying, like, these are the keys to understanding the game of basketball.
Absolutely.
Like, this is how I can make the Mamba mentality something that everybody can understand. And I don't think that should be undermined because of like picking points or trying to find things to pick at in his game, on the court. So yeah, Kobe being at 2 is a lock, and is only a lock because Mike is Mike. I mean, if Mike's not Mike, granted, you make the argument that maybe we don't have a Kobe, but all other things considered, it would be him undoubtedly, if not for Mike being, for most, the greatest to ever play. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
Hell, my efficiency would be ass too if I was playing next to Smush Parker. I mean, for some of those years, like, so
he has some horrible
I'm walking
teams.
down for a position. He was Steph Curry's like, where it's like, oh yeah, I can get 3 from Steph or any of the other team percentage wise. Probably had to be better with Steph. Kobe was like first. He was like, oh yeah. Oh, I'm on the court with who?
Yeah,
Robert Sacre.
He had our mentality, man. Like, just growing up amongst, like you said, black people, man. I'm from the burbs, but got with the school in the city, which is kind of dope. Like growing up and having great parents, which is awesome. But then also going to school in the city and just being around that, like I understand why a lot of dudes revere Kobe, because their mentality was theirs. Like, a lot of dudes, and I think even part of being a man, we all share that ignorant confidence. Like, you have to wake up as a man and have that ignorant confidence where you wake up, you feel like you're the greatest man in the world in a day. Like, we know, done our head, okay, we're not the greatest person ever to walk the face of the earth. You know what I'm saying? But we have to have that confidence as a man to be like, okay, like, I'm coming with it. Like, you got to respect me as a man. There's a presence we have, and especially amongst us as black people and kind of where we come from in our environment, where we came from. I can see why dudes revere Kobe so much, because it's like, that Kobe mentality is like their life mentality. And I think kind of being in media, kind of really showed me, how you can lose perception of a player so quickly, because the media plays on what people want to hear. And, even working at ESPN, working at, KOMU, Stephen, just your time at Missouri or whatever. And just, and kind of going through the whole media cycle is like, man, I really just see like, man, they really control how people review, what we're posting. ESPN has a social media team. They're controlling what you're seeing. But when people say ESPN, they think it's fact, but it's not. That's somebody else that's human controlling what you're seeing. What Stephen A. Smith is saying, it's not fact. He's great. He's awesome. I think he's the best in the business. You know what I'm saying? But what he's saying is not fact. But guess who's controlling that rundown? You know what I'm saying? Guess who, these local networks. And just hearing, even like, I think the prime example was kind of like with Kyrie Irving. Like now that, Kyrie Irving, and he brings some of that on himself, but like, we forget that, like, bro, there could be an argument. This can be the most skilled player ever. But we don't talk about that. What's the narrative on Kyrie? Oh, he's an idiot. Oh, he's a team killer. Oh, he's this and that. And so, I think Kobe, because he was so unapologetically real, and we hate real people in society, that kind of affected how we rank him. He didn't play basketball how they wanted him to play basketball. He didn't always say or do or treat teammates how it needs to be played. But like, hey, his leadership style was just as effective as LeBron's, because guess what? He was able to win just as much as LeBron, if not in certain ways even higher. So how can I say that he wasn't this and that? You know what I'm saying? Or is it just, am I allowing the media to control how I'm viewing this player? I think a lot of people got to be very careful with that. You know what I'm saying? Because the media is just another person telling you what you need to see.
Yeah. No, those are great points, bro. Those are great points. The media perspective is very key because I think
absolutely,
even as somebody, even if you watch ball, and even if you're somebody that like, I know I watched the game, you can't be ignorant to the perspective that media adds or how media affects your perspective because we consume it all the time.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So naturally, it just becomes a part of how you think. And if you aren't able to make that discernment when you're having those conversations, then it can be skewed for sure.
Absolutely. So, absolutely.
Yeah. So one and two are locked. Is 3 locked as well? Or
go ahead, Miguel.
This is the podcast where the number fits with the positioning. I'll take it. I'll concede. It's D Wade.
It's
Mr. I fall down 9, I get up 10. Mr. I had a Converse shoe for my first debut shoe. Like
I did not know that. That's actually wrong.
His first shoe was Converse.
That's a nugget. That might be a clip. You need to put a clip with the audio over this and put this dude Converse on. I did not know that. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Now it's Way of Wade. Now he's got some. I'm getting ads from every day. I don't know how, but shouts out D.
Hey, shout out the government.
Man, they hear everything. I didn't even look at them. They were like, "Oh, you're looking for hooping shoes? Yeah, here."
Shout out Mark Zuckerberg.
For sure.
Man, had some sort of filter on me.
I'm weak, but I don't know if there's an argument against Wade here. I'm not looking for one necessarily, but even when you look at a lot of there's a lot of really, I won't say they're all great, but there's a lot of really, really good shooting guards. Like the bottom 5 of the top 10 is more interesting than the top 5 is because the top 5 is the top 5 is just about solidified. Because really, I feel like Jordan, Kobe, Wade, what they did for the game, their accomplishments, what they did for their teams, what they did for other players, I think is unprecedented in a sense when we're talking about this position and the players that play this position.
Unparalleled.
I think same could be said for the person listed at 4 as well.
Let's stay at 3.
In terms of a cultural impact,
I want to say about Dwayne Wade again. Like I'm a huge LeBron fan. I don't want to understate it. I want to overstate it. I love LeBron James, but and even if Stephen A. Smith made this point, I remember kind of watching the press conferences, especially after they lost to the Mavericks, and especially in the playoff series, because that's when you start really seeing post game pressers. You watch sports after the game and you see these dudes on the thing. But Stephen A. Smith even said it like, "Bro, did y'all not realize that at every post game that he had, that Dwayne Wade was there with LeBron James?" And I was like, "Dang, that was a good point, bro." Like I actually remember that. You know what I'm saying? The fact of like we see LeBron James now, but that was a time where LeBron James did not know how to win. I'm not saying it wasn't a winner, but that he coached Dwayne Wade. Like Dwayne Wade was already a made man. He was already a champion. Dwayne Wade was his big homie. Dwayne Wade said, "Hey, I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna take a step back. I'm gonna teach you how to win. I'm gonna help your mental. I'm gonna help your mental get to a whole nother level." Like that was LeBron James' college years. You know what I'm saying? Because it's even like let's say I'm working at Mizzou and I'm going to the hospital and I'm super talented, but Steven already been there for a couple of years. He's gonna be able to help me filter through the BS that I may not already see because he's already been there. He's already had a leadership position. You feel what I'm saying? So it don't matter necessarily the talent. It's the leadership that Dwayne Wade was able to install LeBron James. And I feel like if LeBron did not go to Miami, I'm not saying he would have won championships. For sure, I think he would have won some championships, but I don't think he would have been as successful as quickly as he was and had the career he had. So I'm like, man, Dwayne Wade helped this guy get to a point where now we're comparing him to Jordan, where there's a large amount of us that think he's better than Jordan. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, but Dwayne Wade played a huge part of that. And so his leadership, his unselfishness, man, like it can't be understated. You know what I'm saying? Like, so for me, just, man, he helped LeBron become who he is. Like that should boost him up right there.
And if he had a career, no injuries too, man, like he did all of that going through continuous like injuries, like year to year, but still put together like a Hall of Fame career.
So two things. One, I think your analogy of that Miami phase being what could be considered LeBron's college years, I think that's a great analogy. Like obviously the alignment isn't the exact same in regards to Bron had been in the league 6 years by then, but given his hype, Bron came in just in an unprecedented way in regards of like,
I think why it's so important for LeBron, because and I'm gonna take it to football. I think every Hall of Fame player has a big homie, right? We take it to football. Like again, I'm from Kansas City, so I like to use my analogies. I know more about the teams. I know more about the player. When Mahomes came in, he didn't start year one. He played week 17, right? But he didn't play that first year. He had a big homie, Alex Smith. Also, his big homie is Andy Reid, and he would tell you that. Like, hey, when Big Red's here, things are a lot better. So he had a mentor, Aaron Rodgers. He sat behind Brett Favre for a number of years, right? And so we're talking about two of the most talented quarterbacks ever. Before there was, Aaron Rodgers walked so Patrick Mahomes can run. You know what I'm saying? Even Tom Brady, he didn't come out started. He had a big homie. He had Bill Belichick. He had Drew Bledsoe that was there before he started playing. You know what I'm saying? Even if you take it to basketball, when Magic Johnson came to the league, who was he playing with? You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like, a lot of
Jordan Love.
Jordan Love might be that. He looked good in preseason, though. He really do.
Hey, he looks great. We hoping for
my
it.
brother.
He looks great, But I say that, to say like LeBron needed a big homie, and when he went to Cleveland, it wasn't Larry Hughes. It wasn't going to be,
Darius Miles.
Yeah,
DeJuan Wagner.
Yeah, the Boo Gibson. Like, come on now.
Zydrunas Ilgauskas, Carlos Boozer.
Man, you know what I'm saying? Like, come on now. So
Drew Gooden could have been.
Nah, Drew Gooden, no. He needed.
Hey, he was holding that knowledge and that soul patch in the back of his neck. Come on now.
Yeah.
Some ancient wisdom was held back there.
Hey, Drew Gooden, like he could be on like that Milan movie, like he could be animated.
I was gonna say Lilo and Stitch, damn near too.
Hey,
whatever,
bro. What's that? How do you be catching strays like this, bro?
No. Hey, man.
Hey,
sorry.
You put the N and N together, if you get what I'm saying.
Y'all are idiots.
You put the N and N together.
No. Everybody does need a big homie though. So I feel like that's a great analogy. To Miguel, to your point, I forgot exactly how it happened and what the timeline was, but Wade and them won in 06. And Wade at that point, after winning in 06 and how he performed in the finals, he really was kind of already stamped to a degree at that point. I forgot when he hurt his shoulder. I think it had to be like the following season.
07. Had to be 07. Had to be. Yeah.
It had to be because I remember how he looked when the Redeem team was playing. And I remember watching, and I'm like, and I'm like, no, this nigga looks different. Like he looks better. Like he's better than how good he looked in 06. This is scary. You know what I'm saying? And this with him coming off the bench, and with Team USA, that rarely ever matters. You know what I'm saying? But like,
you got Kobe ahead of him. That should prove that Kobe.
You know what I'm saying? It's Kobe. So it's
started.
Like, but he's coming in, and you just. But it was. When you talk about the two, also this top three, all amazing two-way players, all incredible two-way players, like stamped on both sides of the ball. So, Wade stamped at 3, and I think that if we are gonna go at 4, where I think we're gonna go, I won't say it's a large drop off, but what I will say is that when you talk about these 3 after it, like they all get respect, but I think those 3 are like God tier.
They played both sides of the ball at a high level.
High level.
That's the only thing that at number 4 that you can't say about him is that he didn't play like that other side at a super high level. They had pieces around him that could play defense at a super high level.
Absolutely.
But they needed this dude just to score.
Absolutely.
At all times.
So is 4 Christian, do you feel like Harden is 4?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I was worried that you guys.
Who are you talking about, Miguel?
Yeah, I think Harden. I mean, like, Harden is definitely he's that guy. He's that one. I feel like he's that one friend.
Wait.
I think Miguel's going Allen Iverson, if I'm not mistaken.
Both no rings. I mean, James Harden was a super scorer. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, but like James Harden was different game.
Tough.
Like he had a season where he averaged like he went seasons in Houston, and they were low key, and it's probably James Harden's fault. But when they were playing against the Warriors with Kevin Durant, like there was a couple games where like they were like a game or two away from beating that team, which is arguably like a top, 3.
Wait, which team? They must be
with the KD Warriors team.
Chris Paul got them there. James Harden is not a winner. AI, the difference between James Harden and AI is that AI willed. I mean, although they cheated in that series against the Bucks, I will not lie. He willed that 76ers team to a Lakers team that
Miguel
was bona fide.
Miguel,
was bona fide. He couldn't get that ring. But
I'm slightly confused. So
he didn't get a chip. He's not a true winner. I understand that point, but he made it to a finals.
Wow.
James Harden has done all of this and has never made it to a finals.
Hey, big bro, this is my favorite thing I talk about people, and our people struggle with this the most. Black people, if I want to be more clear, more specific for the podcast. Black people struggle with this the most. Parents, gaslighters. You might be one of those people. It's called revisionist.
It's crazy.
It's called revisionist history. The last time I checked, James Harden has 0 championships. Allen Iverson has 0 championships.
Yes, absolutely.
You can't say one guy's a loser and then one guy's a winner. Both of them never won. Like both played.
But one has never even reached the peak of the mountain. He never reached the peak and got pushed off.
Yes, he did.
Like there's a man that can put the flag there.
James Harden has been to the finals.
He didn't
man, yes.
He was there.
He was not there. I didn't see him. AI showed up. AI had moments, and that's the thing. AI at least.
When he stepped over Tyronn freaking Lue, are you still riding that wave?
I'm not talking about stepping over Tyronn Lue. I'm talking about cultural moments in the NBA.
Like we're not, Miguel. We're not talking about. See, that's the problem. You're making emotional. You're making an emotional point. You're not wrong. We're talking. I know.
You're not wrong.
I know. I'm not. I know.
But
we're not talking about
the point.
Go ahead.
Sorry. I know you go on. No, I need to let your guest allow you the floor to speak, and then our tour.
I'm saying like for sure, like Allen Iverson as far as culture, like as far as like cultural, there's nobody like Allen Iverson. Like it's probably like him and Michael Jordan because like Michael Jordan is like really embedded in black culture right now, like just period. You know what I'm saying? Like with the Jordans, like it's crazy, like how he's part of our culture. Like we say, like you got some Jordans, like we're saying his name. You know what I'm saying? But like as far as like player wise, like James Harden had like 29 points, 30 points a game, 36 points a game, 34 points a game. You know what I'm saying? Like that 5-year run in Houston when he was at his peak was crazy.
So different. So Christian, do you think Harden's peak was better than Iverson's peak?
I think so, because I think Iverson was so distracted off. I don't think Iverson really had a peak. It's tough. You guys know, he had a peak for sure. No, Iverson had a peak. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he won an MVP award. That's just like you can't have a peak and not win an MVP award. I think Iverson has so much stuff. I think this is out of his own words, out of his own documentary. I think he has so much stuff going off the court because it was really like Iverson's that dude that like once he messes with you, he messes with you. And I feel like he had so much stuff going off the court that he never was able to really focus like tunnel vision on basketball. I feel like it was just always something going on. Yeah. And so I don't know if he was able to really hoop. Like, you know what I'm saying? And so I think Harden had that time where he was just a hooper. You know what I'm saying?
I think, do you, not for the sake of arguing where they land, but for Harden, do you think his career looks any different, or do you think it matters if he isn't drafted to OKC first?
I think going to OKC was actually great for Harden.
It was. I agree.
I think it's tough, man. I think his mortal moment in the NBA. I think we all have mortal moments in our life, right? I guess to define a mortal moment, not to go dark, it's like, I think the biggest one is for adults, like when their parents die, because it's like, dang, I'm getting older, but then it's like the person that we always had as counsel was gone now. Like it's a mortal moment, right? So basically, I define a mortal moment as something that happens in your life that makes you change. You really start to reminisce and rethink on how you're gonna do, like what's your next chapter of life. So I think Harden's mortal moment wasn't necessarily OKC. I think it's when he went to Houston, because it was like, okay, what you gonna do? You know what I'm saying? Like,
you the man.
You leaving the team that we looked at OKC like, damn, these niggas might win like 8 championships in a row. Like I was LeBron. Remember, I'm LeBron. I'm like, like, yeah, we beat them, but like, oh my god, when they let James Harden,
then they let Harden go.
I was like, yes,
they paid Serge.
Harden wanted to be the man, and obviously, rightfully so.
But it came down to $4 million. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, but I think it helped. I think it wouldn't have worked that long anyways. You know what I'm saying? I think they could have squeezed out a couple championships out of that team before it disassembled. But, for me, like I said, to answer your question, Steven is like, man, I think his time was like when Houston, I think that's when he proved like, I'm the man. Like that was his time where it was like, what is my career going to look like when that moment happened? Because when he went there, like I was saying, okay, he'll be a good player, but I didn't expect him to do that.
I don't think anybody did. I don't think anybody expected. I remember his first couple of games. I think he dropped like
a triple double, like 30,
like 30 back to back, and we were all like, "Oh wait, is this what's been hiding on the bench in OKC?"
I'm like, what?
He started off the season on like what 40? Did he not?
So it might have been 35. It was a tear though. It was a tear.
Yeah.
So let's compare some accomplishments right quick as we my bad. You had a rhetorical.
No, wait. Let's compare accomplishments and then I'll go on mine. Yeah.
So for Harden, he has one MVP award. He's a 10-time All-Star, 6-time All-NBA first team, 1 All-NBA third team. He's a 3-time NBA scoring champion, a 2 times NBA assist leader, was also the assist leaders for this past season. He's on the 75th anniversary team as well. For Iverson, 1 MVP award, 11-time NBA All-Star, 3 All-NBA first team, 3 All-NBA second team, 1 NBA third team, Rookie of the Year, 4-time NBA scoring champion, 3-time NBA steals leader, also 75th anniversary team.
Okay. So
Harden has him on career averages. I'll give him that. Harden has him on career.
Also different time in NBA. Allen Iverson played this. I'll say this about Iverson though, which I had and not to support number 5, but I had Clyde Drexler number 5, but I'm wrong. It needs to be Allen Iverson. And sometimes I get confused on how we define Allen Iverson, but he is a combo guard, so I put him at number 2. I'll say this about Allen Iverson. I think he's a pound for pound the greatest player ever. Like ever. Like if you stretch him to 6'6", it would be close. Like it would it's over. Like over. So yeah, I get it.
You have KD. You have KD at 6'6", damn near. Like a smaller KD.
Yeah.
Here's what I gotta say about AI, and here's why I have him over Harden personally. And it is biased. Like it completely biased. I'll start with that.
Yeah.
I think actually no. In his career in the Sixers, AI did more with less than James Harden has ever had in his entire career. And James Harden hasn't even made it to the point that AI had with his team. Like James Harden has had that OKC team to make it to the finals. Yes, they lost to the Heatles. Like that was bound to happen. That was their first year too, really making it to that point. Then he goes to Houston. They didn't have the best team construction out gate, but that Capella team with Tucker, Eric Gordon, that shot.
Chris Paul.
And then you have 2 games. You have 2 games without Chris Paul. Granted, he's, point guard. He was 35 at the time. You're the man at the point. And you're facing the Warriors. You have them on their heels. You got to win game 6. You drop that. You go to game 7. This is your moment. It's at home. No,
at home.
You have it. You trick. And it's not just him. 27 threes. It's historic.
No, that's him. That's him.
It's like it's a team game though. Like I'm not gonna say that, just because AI made it to a chip and in an Eastern Conference that might not be.
But don't strip away from your point though, big bro. Like that's him because 27 straight missed threes. You got to be that superstar to break that because once fall in, once the main guy go, you go.
Because it's like he's making the right plays, but then like on 25, 24, you gotta say like, hey. Let me get to him and let me get a lob to Clint. You have to see the game at that point and be like, something's got to change. Something's got to give.
So this is
that was his defining moment, that kind of like skirted him away from getting one. Brooklyn was a really good time too. Kyrie doesn't get hurt. You never know, but it's just like, that is the OT with the Bucks. And this is your guy that you've made a fake beef with in your head for so long, Mr. Run and Dunk. And then you can't get it done. Like, I know you have one hammy there, but, at that time, I mean, according to him at that time, it was falling off the bone. But, that these are moments that, that's a chip. That's a legacy moment that hasn't, got yet. And he's still got time. But then you go to Philly and you have the MVP, the current MVP. And then where is he? In AI City.
That's where I'm at. So that's where I'm at with Harden. In Houston, not even so much that it's personal.
For me entirely.
The talent is not the question. Like we are not questioning James Harden's talent, nor whether he should be in the 5. And I think if Christian, if you want to stand on it, I think we can solidify that. However it falls, Iverson and Harden are going to be 4 and 5, whatever your personal preference is.
For sure.
So my thing with Harden is this: once you proved that you could be once you proved and stamped that you were the man in Houston, it did become your responsibility. So in that situation, yes, you're playing one of the greatest teams, ever assembled, at least from a starting five standpoint. Yes, yes, it's a team game. But to Christian's point, at some point, yes, they are a team that lived by the three. So it was in their DNA to either shoot themselves into the game or
was that the year they went super small too? Was that like
no? That was the next year.
No,
I think that was the next year.
Okay.
So because they still had Capella this year, mind you.
Yep.
Harden at some point in time, Harden had to say, "Hey, I'm gonna ISO. We're gonna go 4 low, and I'm gonna ISO.
I'm gonna get a bucket
to the cup." Mid-range, something. We're not going to continue to shoot threes, especially if nobody else is hitting them. Like something has to change. And with Chris Paul being out, it's even more of a reason. Like Harden, if Houston's going to lose, it should be on your shoulders. It should be because you either did everything you could and it wasn't enough, or it should be because you just played a terrible game, but you were taking shots that everybody's okay with you taking because you're the man. That's my only beef with Harden in Houston. He did not make it better this past year because we all said when he left Brooklyn, right? And he went to and he went to Philly last year. Year before last, technically. We all said, okay, him with Embiid, this makes sense. He doesn't have to do as much. He can really play off of Embiid, just be a facilitator, get his points off of, reactions and counters. He still has the talent. This should be easy for him relatively. And so we see last year that when they're healthy, we're looking at it like, okay, all right, the time might come where you all can make this happen. And so even in that Boston series, you got 2 really great games from Harden, 2 really, really good games from Harden. And when they went up 3-2, I said they have to win in Philly. They have to win in Philly. They're not winning a game 7 in Boston. It's just not going to happen. Not against that team. And Harden did. And once again, in the moment where Harden showing up wasn't even like, we need 30 from you, bro, because you the man. We need you to run this offense. We need you to make sure Embiid get touches. We need you to make sure our shooters get open shots. We need you to just play winning basketball. That's it. And he dropped the ball once again. And I think it's hard because what all do we want to factor into the list? If we want to go outside of accomplishments, I think that's what pushes Harden down.
And I can see that. That's why, I think I think Miguel is definitely right on this as far as like, I can see, AI being number 4, number 5, because I think what you guys are describing is leadership, bro. Like, it's just strictly leadership. Like, James Harden is not a leader. He's a follower. And if he had more of a leader, if he had AI's mentality, he probably would have 1 or 2 rings by now. Simply put, that's what it is. So that's what I say. I stand down on that a lot. You know what I'm saying? Because, even bringing up him being with Embiid right now, it's like, fud. Like, Embiid is crazy. Like, I watch a lot more basketball than I normally do this year. I guess in spring, just being, at ESPN and having to be there at nighttime and having to watch that stuff. I'm like, I had probably like 7 or 8 Embiid games, and it was just like night in, night. I'm like, bro, this dude is different. Like, he's different.
Yeah.
And if AI had his mentality, because AI, like, you put AI maybe like 1 or 2 years out of, I guess, maybe his peak prime, him and James Harden are not losing to who did they say he's losing? They lose to the Heat this year or something? Who did they lose to in the playoffs?
The Sixers.
The Heat. The Sixers lost to was it the Heat or the Celtics?
The Celtics. Sixers
the
lost
Celtics.
Yeah. Celtics lost.
They did. You just talked about that. 3-2. I remember that. Yeah. Allies getting that done.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Like you said, even 2 years after his prime.
Yeah.
He's up 3-2?
He's getting that. He's getting that.
Just give me the ball. Just hand it to me.
In Philly, he's getting that done.
Up 3-2 at the crib?
Yeah. Come on. So with my belief on that, like, I get it. You guys are right. That was you guys really, that was good. That was great. That was great. That was a good argument.
Yeah.
You swayed me for sure.
AI slipped my mind, Miguel. So I do give you that one.
I very biased. I'm gonna say I brought out the biased bag. I had his shoes with the zipper. Those are my first hoopers, bro. Like I love that man to the day I die. He made me who I am today. Qualls, when you and Ake talk about who I turned into as a guard, it's definitely more because I forgot that man brainwashed me at youth. I watched so many tapes out of Jersey, bro. I haven't got cornrows yet. My girl wants me to cornrows. I might now.
Hey, your player comparison on the basketball court is Miguel. It's not Allen Iverson. It's Miguel Brown.
Hey man, hey, the way I see rim, the way I don't pass the ball. Current day though.
When they have a player comp, when it pops up on a bubble, it says Miguel Brown, and then it says the player comp is Miguel Brown.
No, being real, Ish Smith. If I ever touch the NBA court, I'm gonna look like Ish Smith. I'm running 24/7 and I'm handling the O.
Ish Smith is crazy.
No, he's cold.
But in the episode right now, I put a picture of this dude Ish Smith face over his. Ish Smith is crazy.
That's out of all the guards you could have said. Truly,
that's
I love me some Ish Smith. Shouts out to the 14 and 18.
Miguel, you picked the most journeyman guard in league.
They treat me. The NBA would treat me the same way. They see my ass. They'd be like, "Yeah, we'll take you for a year. We'll take you for
that was crazy."
Jumping from AI to Ish Smith is crazy.
It's crazy.
Man, I'm about to do a tape how they've been doing Ant with Kobe. I'm about and with MJ. I'm about to do the same Ish Smith AI. I'm about to take some.
You ain't gonna have a lot of footage, bro. I'm gonna tell you.
Oh, he's got the spin move. I've seen the spin move once or twice and a floater. So he's got like at least two
basic guard stuff. You can find in the Zoo Rec. I can send you a link to sign up.
They give Ant a post fade and they show MJ right next to it. Anyone does a post fade. Rondé Hollis Jefferson's Kobe for a day. You know
do not shade Ant Man. Don't start.
Yeah, I love Ant-Man. No,
don't shade him. Yeah, don't shade him.
No shade at all.
We love Ant. We love
I believe the comp. I think he might be his son for sure.
Oh my goodness.
The real one, because his two sons can't be that ass. Let's be real. And Dayton Larsa Pippen, they're clones. This is his real son.
Hey, you're getting off topic, bro. You're getting off topic. You're getting off topic. Because that's a whole nother thing.
We only got 4 and 5. Just wrap it up with this dude. You can't beat this.
Hey, we got another one too. DeAndre Ayton, the Sucio boy. Hey, we saw. I'm just
that DeAndre Ayton clip was crazy.
That's crazy. No, I've never seen publicly NBA players this engulfed and entangled.
It's only gonna get worse. It's only gonna get worse.
Okay, sorry. Back to basketball. So we have
that was
Zion Williamson.
Listen. Hey, look, Christian, we can't give Miguel too much screen time because he just started doing this.
Yeah. You just need. I told you when to wrap it when he was talking about the OnlyFans for ABA. That was the best part. That was it.
No, I'm telling. Hey man. Hey, we know content. We talk all content. We
unintended
our homework, as my father would say.
Unintended. He said, "We know content." Unintended.
Whoa! Hey now. Hey, I'm kind of cold. The double entendres now, but hey now, I like that. Quick scroll, fast scroll.
So fast scroll. Listen. This has been a great episode of the Right Quality Podcast. Let us know if you agree with our top 5 shooting guards of all time. Let us know if you agree with our current top shooting guards actively in the league today as of 2023. Before these two go off the rails anymore,
we'll do more top 5 lists. Just give us
top 5 coming, so it's fine. Ain't no telling what's gonna come in these other 5. You know what I'm saying? But next time, man, Christian, thank you for coming on.
Man, thank you.
Love to be on again, man. Just let me know, man, for sure. We gotta do this again, man.
Definitely.
Especially the NBA season coming, man, for sure. Give me back on whenever.
We gonna definitely have to do that. Definitely have to do that. But yeah, man, it's time. We'll catch y'all. Peace.